Good evening. This
Hello.
is the Nifty Alpha. I'm Pio. I'm here with my co-host, sophisticated art speculator, now known as Captain Kicks. And this is usually the NFT market and trade talk show. But today we have a very special guest, Arkdev of NFT Worlds. How's it going, Arkdev?
It's going great. Thank you guys for having me.
Our pleasure. Happy to have you here. We're going to dive into NFT Worlds. Very relevant project to be talking about right now, given all of the metaverse hype that we're experiencing here in the NFT space. For everybody watching, as usual, please smash the subscribe button, like the video if you enjoy the content. It really helps us out. And of course, nothing that you see in these videos is ever financial advice. Always do your own research, recognize the risk of participating in the NFT market, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited to have you on Arkdev. Like I said, could you kind of, give the audience maybe, if some of them don't understand or don't know a lot about the project, just a little background on NFT Worlds, maybe how it got started and what the project is?
Did you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I think you might. Sorry, I couldn't tell. I think
Sorry. Yeah.
all good, all good.
So NFT Worlds is a Metaverse gaming project. So the most similar projects out there you're going to find are like Decentraland and the Sandbox. We got started back in, I think it was September of this year. We were really looking at this Metaverse gaming space and play to earn and everything back then. And before it really got like hot like it is right now, we're like, this is probably going to be a big deal. Like gaming plus blockchain seems like it could be a future thing. Like, how can we, having built companies and tech startups in the past, how can we like build something unique in the space, but do it in a way that sort of bootstraps off existing kind of open source platforms and still make it very relevant to what's going to happen, at least what we think is going to happen in the space. So we looked around a lot and we ended up stumbling across, having played Minecraft for like a decade or more within our team. We're like, this is a perfect fit. Like, we know the Minecraft ecosystem. We know how extensive the open source community is. We know how big the mod ecosystem is. We know how like you can make full games that aren't Minecraft on top of Minecraft very easily, and the infrastructure is all there. And none of it has licenses. So like it's all open source. You can just use it. And so we're like, let's take this, let's build something new on top of it. And then we can build on that ecosystem to just move way quicker than all these other projects, because we don't have to prove out a game at that point. We don't have to build like all this infrastructure that all these other companies that are doing Metaverse are going to have to do. We just have to make a really good layer on top of an already very proven game.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, and that makes sense. I didn't know you guys had a Minecraft, a background, already in the space.
Yeah.
When I think about before NFT Worlds, you think about Sandbox, you think about Decentraland, Nick, if there's anything you want to add, any other projects, were those kind of some of the inspirations within the NFT space, or what were kind of the inspirations for you guys within the space when you were building this?
Yeah. The Sandbox is probably the most similar and probably the biggest inspiration we had. Like, it's so akin to Minecraft already, but they're building a platform from the ground up, and there's a lot of centralization that's in place there that we were like, this doesn't really make a good long-term play, in our opinion, for like the whole Web3 thesis that people have. And we kind of just were like, Minecraft plus how do we decentralize it more? How do we like meet the Web3 ethos and kind of go forward from there?
Awesome. Yeah. Huge fan of your project, by the way.
Thank you.
There's as like an NFT trader and like a minter, a lot of times I'll just buy things because the volume's great, right? And it looks like it's going to be a good flip. But every once in a while, a project comes across where it just feels different and it feels unique and it feels fun.
Sure.
Because I of course got the Minecraft vibes when I look at this, but then also with like the unique features and stuff like that, I almost kind of got like Civilization vibes or like Age of Empire vibes. You know what I mean? Where there's a unique map with all of these different unique characteristics, and then of course all of these different materials which you can eventually integrate into your game economy. And I definitely want to have you touch on that. But also, I love what you said, that instead of just creating something completely new from scratch, you leveraged existing technology. And then by doing that, it allows your speed of development to be so much faster. Because one of the things that I've been so impressed with your project is the literal speed of development and just all of the things that you've been launching and your vision for the economy and how it's all going to work out. And click on this, pull up this link that I just sent to you, PO. This is something that's really exciting to me, because one of the big problems with, like, I call it layer zeros, which is the base land, is that everyone buys land, but it's like, well, how are you going to develop it, or who's going to develop it? How are you going to build these things? And look at this already. Like, someone built this, if I'm understanding it correctly, someone designed all of this in your game engine. And now if I want, I could just buy this developed city off of OpenSea, and like, I own this map with all of this build out on it. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And so that's super exciting to me, because what you can have is you can have different people. So you can have, people that just buy the lands, and they're kind of holding the lands and speculating them. But then you can also have developers that can come in, they can buy a piece of land, they can develop a game on it, like a certain type of game, or just a cool world like this. And then people can come in and just buy those developed properties and then use them for experiences. Now, the price of your NFTs really shot up after you released your vision for like how the economy is going to work out in this decentralized metaverse that you're building. Could you give us some more details on that?
Yeah, there were a few. That was definitely one of the catalysts. There were a few. I think the economy related information, as well as like right when we released our docs website, so docs.nftworlds.com, I think people finally started to get, since we put all of the information in just a centralized place, it wasn't fractured anymore, like what we're doing and the scale of what we're doing. And those two things just really drove like the floor price up. As far as the in-game economy though, right? Like, so the vision is that we have these 10,000 worlds. Each world can be developed out into having unique experiences, games, a bunch of possibilities. And these games, these experiences, competitions, whatever it may be, are going to be able to be tied to an in-game currency called World, WRLD, the World token, and that'll act exclusively as the in-game currency across all worlds. So it gives the ability for world owners to create games and experiences for players to play and earn world. And in exchange, it also gives world owners the ability to earn world by selling in-game items, perks, upgrades, whatever it may be for their games to the players. And it creates this back and forth economy that's across all the worlds and can also be interconnected. And I think that's what's really exciting for people.
Awesome. And so if I understand it like properly, so World is going to work across any of the experiences.
Yes.
So like you could go into a certain game where you're having to mine materials, or you're having to kill mobs, or whatever, and then they can accumulate World, and then that's their currency that they can use, anywhere in this ecosystem.
Exactly.
But if I buy a World and develop a great experience, and a lot of people are coming there and trying to play, I can also earn some of that World as like the owner of the property.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's really exciting. And how do you think the unique features of the map, do you have any plans on how to kind of integrate that into the economy or into functionality?
Yeah, so there's rare and unique features across a lot of these maps. They haven't came into play a lot yet. We haven't touched on them, but the end goal with them is that some of these very rare and unique worlds, we have exclusive features and things that will be able to only be accessible within those specific worlds. So we have worlds with things like a dragon's trade or something like that. Because we are building on Minecraft, inherently there's no dragons, but we have our own launcher, and we're also the ones developing the custom server software. So we can do all of this. And the goal is, with those unique and rare features, those specific worlds will only be the ones that have the ability for players to access that type of content, and therefore they become a bigger draw for players to come to those worlds.
Awesome. That's really cool. And then I think the next big feature that you have coming up is your multiplayer support. Could you give us some details on that? How many people maybe you think with the initial go will be able to play concurrently in one server, and how all that's going to work out?
Yeah, so we're going to showcase multiplayer this month. To do that, it's going to be kind of like an alpha test run of multiplayer. And what we'll be doing is there'll be one world you'll be able to access through our game client that we'll be releasing this month. It'll be a scavenger hunt world. And in this world, you'll have a bunch of different puzzles, riddles, things, challenges, etc. And the goal is for whoever the first player is to figure all these things out. You're going to basically get a 12-word mnemonic phrase that gives you access to a wallet with a couple ETH in it. I think it's probably going to be around 4 to 5 ETH, which is a lot, right? Concurrency-wise, though, right now we have the ability to host between 300 and 400 players on a single world instance.
Wow.
But so it's a lot. So you'll be able to see 300 to 400 other people in the same world as you.
Bigger than Sandbox. They're maxing out at 36 to 64 last I heard.
Yeah, and this is just a limitation of like poor. I mean, it's almost 10x in Sandbox, but poor Minecraft server infrastructure that how it is right now. We have the ability to scale this up to like multiple thousands in the future, and that's the plan. For this demo, though, there'll be able to be more than 400 people playing at a time. We're just going to have like multiple regions, so there'll be like multiple instances of that world. So each instance can have 400 players, and then we can have thousands of players just locked into groups of 400 at a time.
That's awesome. And so I think when I look at this, I love the concept. I love the uniqueness of it, and that's something I've been preaching when it comes to Metaverse. And there's game elements to this as well. Is that if you try to make a direct competitor to some of the more well-established things, you can definitely potentially make it, but it's going to be harder to carve out your niche. Where like this product seems really unique and has uniqueness from Decentraland or Sandbox, so I can really see it in carving out a really nice niche. And I think probably, and I'd love to hear from you, like the long-term success probably depends on the economy and how that works. And then of course, like the tokens, because that's the real incentive is like, why do I want to build this really great experience for other people to play on this? Right. I have a financial, not just because I want to do it, but I have a financial incentive to do it as well. I can't find the document on your tokenomics, but do you mind just giving us a brief layout of like the different tokenomics, like what percentage will go to gameplay, what percentage will go to the owners?
Yeah, I can actually send you the link to the tokenomics real quick, just so if you want to throw it up on the screen.
Sure, we'll pull it up, yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
You can send it over in the private chat here too.
And Costa P's asking, can you walk through the lands now? So my understanding is you can build on the land entirely right now.
Yep.
Are you able to walk around as well?
Yeah, I can. Real quick, if you guys want to check out the City of Dreams that I sent you, you should, I think, be able to view this link.
Open it up now.
Yeah, let me know. It should pull you into an in-browser just viewer. It's not an actual game player, but it's a viewer. Yeah.
Got a black screen, but I feel it coming.
That one may, let me see. I'll give you another one that will work. Do this one.
Some behind the scenes footage, everybody watching right now. Some behind the scenes NFT Worlds alpha right here.
You can try this one. This one should be good.
There we go.
Yeah, it loaded up for me. Sick.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. So like any of these worlds, you can move around with WASD on your keyboard, and then you click and drag to change the view perspective. And then to go up and down, you use Shift and Spacebar. It's kind of how those are the fly controls.
Yep.
But yeah, this is just the viewer. This isn't the actual gameplay. But like, think of
it's
it
kind of like God mode in Minecraft or like build mode in Minecraft.
Like if you're viewing a property listing for real estate, right, and they have those 3D walkthrough tours, it's kind of like that, and you can see the worlds in this way.
Yeah, and there's all these tunnel networks underneath.
Yeah. But yeah, stuff like this is possible already. In-game play is possible. Building in the worlds and syncing it back to the blockchain is already possible. Yeah, so that's pretty great. I will go back to tokenomics for you, though. I just have to get this link while you guys are doing that.
Yeah,
Very
man.
cool
I
stuff.
mean, I definitely see the potential here, and I like that you're attacking the token play early, because I think that's like a really strong incentive. And while you pull up the tokenomics, what chain are you planning on launching the token on? Have you decided that yet? Mainnet?
Yeah. So the token will have an L1 layer 1 ERC20 implementation on mainnet. However, for as you can imagine, an in-game transaction layer
Yeah.
does not work on
Yeah,
mainnet.
we're on Polygon for crypto raiders. So I
Exactly.
feel you. Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to use Polygon and the Narni bridge, just so
Great.
people can bridge back without a lot of fees to start. But the end goal is actually to probably in like 6 months' time have our own side chain, similar to what Axie
Oh,
Infinity did
wow.
with Ronin. The reason for this is that we expect a lot of players, because the whole Minecraft angle, we expect a lot of new players to not necessarily have the crypto background. So for a new player to come in and join the game, start earning world and whatnot, and then realize they need something like Matic, since we're on Polygon, in order to transact back and forth in the game. It's like, wait, I have to go to an exchange now. I don't even know what that is. I have to get
The
Matic.
friction is so high. You want someone to be able to play this game and not know what an NFT is and not know what crypto is. But after they play the game enough and they have $100 in world sitting in their sidechain wallet, then they're probably getting curious about how they can trade it in crypto and NFTs.
Yeah. Exactly. But like our thinking is that with a sidechain, the fees on the sidechain are the token that's used in game itself, and therefore they don't need two tokens in order to transact the token that is the actual game. It's
the unified, it's the gas, it does everything.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And then so when I look at this, I think, okay, one big thing is the economy and the tokenomics. So we're going to be able to pull up the tokenomics in a bit and look over the emission structure and to see how much players can earn, how much landowners can earn, how much the team gets, etc. And then also, so that's the one piece that I look at, which is economics and tokenomics. They all boil in. And then there is the NFT integration play, which I'm assuming eventually you will tackle. And I think that the synergies there are exciting. So like Pio and I own like a mutant ape, being able to load in with a mutant ape avatar, or people being able to bring assets into the games or out of the games, like things like that could be really exciting.
Yeah, that's all going to be possible. We're actually talking to a few other projects that want, like Axel Littles is probably the public one we announced, where they're already working on an in-game model and skins, so that they can have these playable characters in game. But we want to open that up for all communities. I did really send that. Sorry, go ahead.
You sent over the tokenomics. Okay, perfect. Pulling it up right now. I mean, it's so cool to just move around, in the world and to know that this is like a blockchain based, game. So we got a little.
I may have sent you a dead link from our Discord. If you go on the left sidebar under tokens, you'll see it says tokenomics and distribution somewhere in there.
There we go. Cool. Yeah. Here we go. All right.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Sorry.
All good. So we got the token distribution right here. So what can you tell us about this structure?
Yeah. So our big thing was like, we want to give a long enough timeline that gives the in-game economy the ability to kind of blossom to its own self-sustainable system within, let's say, 5 years. And that's kind of how this is structured. The total supply of the world token is going to be 5 billion world. We have 5% that's going to be locked up over and distributed at an interval basis for a total of 4 years, is what we've talked about internally. The most recent upcoming distribution is the airdrop. 10% of the total token supply, so 500 million world, is going to be airdropped to NFT World holders both December and February. That graph is slightly out of date. We're doing a split airdrop. So 250 million world is going to be dropped in December before a lot of our utility comes online. And then by February, for people that are still holding NFT Worlds or have bought an NFT World before the next snapshot in February, they'll get airdropped the remaining 250 million.
Awesome. Oh, so you're splitting the airdrop in 2 phases. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. The big reason is, right, like we have some baseline utility right now, but like we really want to, before the final airdrop and as people kind of see what's possible, we really want this split distribution such that the second airdrop, a lot of the in-game utilities live and people can start playing with it and all that stuff.
Awesome. And then I love that 50% of the rewards are going to play to earn over 5 years. So 10% per year. That's a nice emission drip, gives the game a lot of longevity to get it standing on its own feet, like you mentioned. And then airdrop 10%, and then staking reserves 35% over 5 years. So that's really cool as well. One question to me, will you make it so that, like, if I understand staking, but then is there an additional incentive layer there for like staking a world that is being used a lot?
Yeah, we have not 100% concreted the staking mechanics.
And you have a 5-year timeline, so it's not like you have to figure it out exactly right away. Like 3 months or 6 months in, you can be like, cool, there's a bonus modifier.
Exactly.
You know, if you have this many concurrent users or this many users per month, you get like in this tier rewards or something like that. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like the goal of staking ultimately is to accomplish we want to drive strong content development across the ecosystem, reliable and consistent worlds that players are like used to going to have fun experiences in. And basically through staking, reward those world holders who then stake those specific worlds for doing those such things that overall also benefit the ecosystem.
Love it. And then do you have any thoughts around connecting lands together? Is that something that you all have explored?
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for. So each of these worlds they're really big. On the NFT, they don't look that big, but they're massive. Like a single world is probably larger than the entirety of Sandbox.
Wow. Okay, that's huge.
Yeah. There's 16 million blocks by 16 million blocks, but you only see 300 by 300 on the preview because we can't fit that many on the NFT. But as far as connectivity goes, we have this concept that will be available pretty much as soon as multiplayer comes out for Worlds, where you can create portals as a world owner to either specific coordinates in your world or specific coordinates in other worlds that you want to link to. So,
but it sounds like the development space that you're giving even a single plot is massive in a cool way. So right now the preview's 3,000 by 3,000 or 300 by 300?
It's about 370 by 370 if you want an exact.
So how much bigger compared to what I'm previewing will it be? Like a factor of 100?
A factor of 1,000 to 10,000.
Okay. Yeah. So this is really cool. So for people that like want to build really deep games and really complex games, they can do it and not have to fork out $250,000 like you'd have to do on Sandbox to get like a 6x6, to pull it off.
That's exactly why too. That's also why there's discrepancy between our supply and Sandbox supply. They're 90,000 land plots, right? And we're 10,000.
But you have way more space.
Exactly. And our hope is that brings forth in such a way within the ecosystem that these world owners are developing these really massive engaging experiences or, things along those lines where they have the space to create these great ideas and make things that are unique that no other platform can do.
Yeah, because that was always the confusing thing for me sometimes with Sandbox, and Pio and I covered a Sandbox video a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things we talked about was like, single plot lands and whether they're worth it, because it's kind of tricky in Sandbox. Because if you have like a single plot land, you don't have a ton of space to build something really massive, but you still have to spend a lot of money just to get that one plot. So that process is, I like this where you can at 0.7, if you're a game developer, you can build the entirety of a game on one plot and it's contained and everything.
Exactly.
It's very cool stuff. I have a question that's a little less technical. I'm just very familiar with the NFT space in the sense that I pay attention to the way the market's moving. I pay attention to the sort of Discord chatter and the tone of Twitter and the tone of, collectors towards certain projects. Being that you're actually building something, right? You guys are actually working really hard to build something that's like a real thing in the space. And a lot of projects, can say that, but a lot of projects can't say that. Have you experienced a lot of kind of having to answer questions from the community if something isn't shipped fast enough, even though you guys are working as hard as you can and as fast as you can? Like, how do you kind of manage, that side of the market, or
Yeah.
or does it not really impact this project?
I, I don't think we've seen any of that.
Nice.
Which is great. I think honestly, it's been the flip side. We have more often than not within our community Discord and our world holders, they're like, this is the only project that feels like it actually has like development momentum right now, and where I'm actually seeing updates. Everything else, I'm just like, they posted that they got on Rarity Tools, and that was the only update in 2 months. Like,
if you were another project, your progress would have been to have launched 2 more mints and a preview video of what's coming in 2023.
Yeah, that's.
I've been really impressed with your guys' development pace. How big's your team?
The core team is 5 people. We do have some open source contributors that are really great and have been helpful. I think a lot of the speed comes back to my background is I built 4 tech startups that have had exits in the last 10 years. So I know how to build tech companies. I've done it a lot. And I'm trying to be super humble in saying this, but it's just like a second nature at this point, where it's like we know like what's fluff, what shouldn't be included in delivery, like what is the vision going forward, how do we make that go as quick as possible, kind of thing.
Well, speaking of tech companies, the Facebook rebrand to Meta, I'd imagine was something that was interesting to you guys. When that happened, like what was the kind of tone of or just the feeling on your team? And was that like a really big deal for you guys? I would just love to know, because we saw, kind of this shift into like metaverse related projects, and yours obviously fits that bill in a big way.
Yeah. I don't think we expected like that significant of a metaverse type like move within the overall like macro market to happen. So it was like, wow, this is like a really great indicator that like there is, more eyes on this idea of metaverses and this whole like 3D like virtual land type thing, and it just happens to be a wave that we've caught. Yeah, we were just surprised, honestly.
It's definitely surprising. And then I guess the artifact news, did that have any impact, or is that just kind of more of the same to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just more of the same. Yeah, I was, that announcement, I was probably more surprised at than anything. I was like, yeah, that one kind of blew my mind. But
I hear you.
Now in terms of compatibility, will the game function through a web browser? Will it function through a dedicated app? And if so, are you looking to get on mobile? And
yeah, this is another great thing about the Minecraft ecosystem. So to start, we have a game client, right? Sandbox has a Windows game client. We have a game client that you'll just download and be able to play. The one piece of friction, like with NFT Worlds, is that you do have to have Minecraft installed, or at least a Minecraft account. And then like our game client just installs everything for you from there. It's just click and it goes, but you do have to have a Minecraft account. As far as cross compatibility goes, like out of the gate, because it's based on, the Minecraft ecosystem, we get access to multiplayer for Windows, Mac, Linux. And then within a month or two after multiplayer going live, we get multiplayer cross-platform on Xbox, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, because there are packet bridging layers that people have been working on for years that just make it possible. And we don't even have to build it. Like, it's just there. It's MIT license. It's free to use. So.
And does are there like packets or mods or add-ons that people can inject into a Minecraft server, and they would be able to do the same in yours as well? So like, I'm sure there's existing like combat systems or things like that the community can tap into.
Yeah. So all of that is 100% compatible from the start, because our server infrastructure is built on an optimized version of the server infrastructure that's been open source for Minecraft already. We've just, added the blockchain layer, added another programmable layer to make these experiences possible and optimize it for concurrency and stuff like that.
Epic. And I guess on the avatar front, could you talk a little bit about how you guys got to that, what the idea was there, maybe how that plays into the ecosystem long term?
Avatars, are you talking about the Gray Boys? or the
Yeah.
playable characters. Okay.
Sorry, the playable characters. Yeah, I'm using broad NFT speak.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So this is another nice piece, is that there is an kind of an open-ended model skinability system with Minecraft for custom characters. With the Gray Boys, it's kind of the first of many playable avatars that we're going to offer through the ecosystem. So with them, within probably, I'd say it's 3 to 5 months out when we have playable characters, since it's kind of a little bit less important than core multiplayer. You'll just be able to connect up your wallet. If you have one in your wallet, like, you'll be able to just select which one you want your character skin to be, and it'll just apply it, and you'll have it in game, and you'll have custom looks. We have also the partnerships with some other communities that are wanting to have skins and avatars developed as well that'll work in the same way.
So why or not why, but rather, do you think that it's possible, and if so, do you have plans on how to try to poach some of the existing Minecraft community over to your game? Because you would think that, like, you know, what there's probably millions of Minecraft players out there, and they understand this entire ecosystem. And it seems like it would be a pretty easy pitch, which is essentially like, hey, it's like Minecraft, but there's this play to earn economy built on top of it. Could you speak towards that?
I think that will probably naturally happen. I think it will naturally happen. And this is a big reason why we want to take the friction out of the transaction layer. So you don't need Matic plus World or Matic plus ETH or whatever it may be, because those players aren't really going to understand that, or it's going to be painful for them. We have within our builder ecosystem right now that ties back to just the general Minecraft public, we have like 3 of the 5 top Minecraft build teams in the world that are like building experiences on top of NFT Worlds right now. Some of these have YouTube communities of 100,000 plus subscribers that are all active Minecraft players, and some of them have worked with Mr. Beast, stuff like that. And they have publicly voiced, like, once multiplayer goes live, once we can start to launch our own games, once we launch our clients' games that are having us build for them, like, we fully intend to use like our reach to bring in the player base to play on top of this stuff.
Huge. That's exciting. Well, I mean, I'm a huge fan of what you've all built so far and your development roadmap and the success of your project. It's awesome to see it at a 0.68 floor. I wish I had bought way more when it was down at 0.15. That was a great buy the dip.
It was, I think, right before we released our docs that had all of the centralized info on the project, it had just went as low as 0.07.
Ooh,
damn!
So that's a 10x right there.
Yeah, and from there, within like 3 days, it was like 0.5 or something. We just watched it. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Well, and now that you have PO's DM, if you ever have big news events, just send us a wink face. That's all we need to know. A wink emoji, and we'll react off of that.
Yeah, just a little wink.
Sounds great.
Well, yeah, Nick, do you have any more like technical questions at all? I know we've covered a lot.
Yeah, I think we've covered a lot here. I just want to say thanks for your time, Arkdev, and coming on. I think a lot of people in the community appreciated it, learning a little bit more about your background, your kind of vision towards approaching your project in the metaverse. I'm definitely a big fan. I'll be holding on to my NFT Worlds and seeing what you all can accomplish for it. But yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, 4.5K volume traded, almost 50% unique owners. Very exciting roadmap on the horizon. I wish you all the best of luck, but I don't think you need it, and excited to watch you progress on this journey.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me on the interview. So really appreciate it, and thanks for the support.
Our pleasure. Everyone, NFT Worlds, available on OpenSea. It's a metaverse play. Make sure that you follow Arkdev at I am Arkdev on Twitter. follow, is it at NFT Worlds on Twitter? Just NFT Worlds?
NFT Worlds NFT.
And NFT Worlds NFT. We got NFT
Yeah.
in there twice. You already know. And if you enjoyed the content, of course, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Appreciate the support. And thanks so much, Arkdev. Thanks for coming on, man.
And the
Thank you,
World
guys.
Snapshot is coming in 2 weeks or less. So
Yeah.
if you want to get a little bit of that juicy token, make sure your bags are packed by then.
You better buy now.
December 23rd.
I feel we're like QVC for NFTs right now. It's like, if you buy now.
But wait, if you buy now, we'll throw in a free playable character in 3 months.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I had fun. So
Our pleasure. Well, thanks for watching.